Welcome back. This summer's drought has impacted so many Canadians, including our farmers and ranchers right here in Alberta. A recent report says farmers have submitted around $1 billion in claims so far. Devin Dreeshen is the Alberta Agriculture and Forestry Minister. Minister Dreeshen, how difficult has it been for farmers and ranchers here in our province?
It's been extremely difficult for farmers and ranchers all across the province. We're seeing about 20% of crops here in Alberta at good to fair shape, but the vast majority are in really bad shape. And they're starting to come off now in southern Alberta and working their way up north. Actually, it was in Grand Prairie last week, and there was some wheat that was only a few inches high that they were just starting to take off because it was completely done. So it's starting. We're starting to see the negative effects of the lack of rain and also just the multiple heat waves that hit the province this year.
So what specific help is the province offering farmers and ranchers who are struggling?
The last month or so, we've increased the amount of crop adjusters to go out and assess crop damage and crop failures. A lot of cases allowing a farmer to work with a rancher to be able to put in livestock on a crop that really is beyond being salvaged as a decent crop. So that has helped a lot of farmers. There's been over about 500 assessments that we've actually helped farmers be able to make that decision and help out livestock folks that are trying to just get access to feed. But we are looking at about $1 billion in insurance payouts in crop failures across the province, and that number may even be higher. But we've also secured $200 a head for our livestock industry. So with bred females, with cows, with calves, that we're actually going to be able to provide a $200 per head feed assistance. About half of it being paid out immediately or in the next few weeks, and then the rest being delayed till December. So really, the purpose of that is to make sure that we can maintain our herd size here in Alberta so we don't have a massive sell-off, and it takes years to be able to rebuild back that herd.
Yeah, it's been a tough year for many of our farmers and producers here in the ag industry. Now, you recently visited Big Sky, Montana for the Pacific Northwest Economic Region Conference, where you discussed wildfires. What specifically about the wildfires?
I met with the governor of Montana and actually offered available Alberta resources to Montana. That's fighting almost a million acres of burnt in Montana. They have hundreds of fires that are stretching all the way across their state. So we are happy to share our resources. We're sharing with British Columbia, with Manitoba and Ontario this year, and we want to make sure that if Montana, if they need Alberta wildfire fighters or resources, we want to make sure that we can help them, because it was his number one issue in his state to make sure that they can try to protect their communities and their natural beautiful forests that they have in Montana. So he was very appreciative of that offer, and my Alberta wildfire folks are reaching out to him to see exactly where and when those resources would be required.
Now, at this conference, you were also supposed to talk a little bit about international trade. And what way can we draw more agribusiness to Alberta?
Yeah, well, value-added agriculture investment is so important to Alberta and to Montana and the whole Pacific Northwest region, because we export so much raw product. And so really trying to attract investment, and just the reality of how free-flowing goods go back and forth. We have cattle from Montana that can go up into Alberta feedlots to be processed here, and vice versa when it comes to our energy sector of Alberta crude oil going down to Montana refineries, being refined down there and coming back into Alberta. So the free flowing of goods is so important, but really that value added agriculture processing for both state and province is that we can actually develop our raw products, our raw agricultural products, into a higher value product and sell it at a retail level rather than a wholesale level, or sending it out on a giant train in a giant Panamax ship to be processed on the other side of the world.
Minister Dreeshen, let's talk about this large AgriFood Hub and Trade Center being built right here in Lethbridge. How important will it be for our agriculture industry?
I personally was there for the launch of it, and I just, kudos to everyone involved to put that together, because I really be a magnet for Southern Alberta to attract investors, to attract trade shows, and to really put Southern Alberta on the map. And I think it perfectly dovetails in with our irrigation expansion that we've launched as a provincial government, working with Canada Infrastructure Bank, as well as irrigation districts in Southern Alberta. We're going to see about 200,000 more acres of irrigated land, which will truly act as a magnet for value-added food processors to be able to set up shop in Alberta, because they can now refine raw food products into what you'd see on the grocery stores, so shelves. So it's really, I think, a great opportunity to highlight the importance and the growth of our agriculture sector, especially our value add sector.
Thanks so much, Minister. That was Alberta Agriculture and Forestry Minister Devin Dreeshen. From the Canadian fields and forests to the oceans around South Africa, coming up an Oscar-winning documentary about sea life that has a Lethbridge, Alberta connection.